All right, we want to get you back over to our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb. We're approaching 1 o'clock in the morning. This is the time that you really, if you haven't already, figured out where you want to be in your safe spot and take it seriously.
Hunker down at least until about 9 o'clock in the morning, because this is going to be the time frame where everything that we have been talking about this week, preparing you for this storm moving in, it is imminent now to be moving into our area. The threats that we're watching from Hurricane Helene that just made landfall around 11 o'clock. Now the storm is pushing into South Georgia, and it's still a hurricane, and it's going to stay a hurricane at least up through parts of middle Georgia and even areas south of Atlanta, still hurricane status, then a tropical storm when it makes it into our area during those overnight hours and early into tomorrow morning. We have already seen some impressive rainfall amounts. We're looking at an additional 3 to 6 inches of rain possible when that core of the storm moves through. We're going to be hunkering down for those strongest winds moving in at 50 to 70 mile per hour with some of those gusts. On the south side, where we have the hurricane warning in effect, that's where we're going to see winds around 80 miles an hour, and we're still watching that tornado risk that is mainly over on the east side. There is that center of circulation. This is moving pretty quickly here. You know, it was just after 11 o'clock. If you've been with us all night long, we've been watching that center of circulation move northward. It came inland here, and now it is in the center of that circulation is crossing over the Georgia-Florida line, continuing to move up toward the north and east. You know, it's interesting because this is kind of jogging a little bit more over to the east than what the National Hurricane Center is showing in their track. And so if that continues and it takes more of that eastward track, more to the east of the Atlanta area, we would be still on that quieter side. And then that heavier rain and all those storms will be farther east Georgia and over to South Carolina. So that's going to be the challenge of what we're watching as this moves through the state of Georgia. And that really is going to have a big part of the impacts that we're going to be seeing here. So there's that center of circulation. Remember, we were talking to Angelina a little while ago. She's right up here in the Valdosta area. That center is right about here, just crossing over the line. There's Valdosta right there. When we talked to Angelina a little bit earlier, she was in this part right here. That is that heaviest rain, the strongest winds in association with the storm that's moving up toward the north, and that northeast actually, and that track is going to continue pushing through pretty much the Macon area, and then pretty much just to the east of Atlanta for that center of that circulation. Now remember, we're talking a lot about that center of circulation and where it's going to track, but it's really a wide and a large storm where impacts are going to be all around it. As we mentioned earlier, Georgia has 159 counties. All 159 counties are going to have some type of impacts, whether it's just rain, whether it's breezes, or whether it's hurricane force winds and tropical storm force winds. This is going to be one of those tropical systems that we're going to be remembering for a long time. There's the Cat 4 status still, even though it's over land. It'll stay a Cat 2 in parts of South Georgia, and then a Cat 1 on the south side from Macon to Columbus, a little bit to the north of that. Then a tropical storm. This plot is showing at 8 o'clock in the morning, pretty much right over or near Atlanta, maybe kind of trending more over on the east side at 65 miles an hour moving through, and then continuing to weaken as it stalls out coming from Tennessee, moving up into areas of Kentucky. And that's going to be Friday night when that happens. So really fast moving storm. The brunt of this is going to be during those overnight hours. And then we'll see those conditions getting a little bit better around lunchtime and after during the day tomorrow, but still the wind's going to be kicking up as well. I know I have to explain this every time. Somehow Jackson County, by mistake, we're trying to figure out if this is a vendor issue with our weather computer or not. Jackson County is not in a hurricane warning. You're in a tropical storm warning. The hurricane warnings are up to Spalding County, Butts County, and Jasper County. That line down to the south, including Pike-Lamar County and Upson County, is where we're going to see those hurricane force winds really coming within the next 3 to 4 hours or so. And then the strongest part of that, well, you know, we're still saying here in the metro area between 3 in the morning and 9 o'clock in the morning. take a look at the winds. These are not wind gusts. These are the current wind speeds. These are the sustained wind speeds. And so I know you're saying, hey, this is not really bad out there yet. Nope, not yet. But it will be getting bad overnight. We've got 9-mile-an-hour winds here in Atlanta, 11-mile-an-hour winds in Duluth. Over on the east side, though, those winds picking up a little bit more. 16-mile-an-hour winds in Athens, 15 in Covington. But remember, these are sustained winds. The gusts are a little bit higher. So I want to show you some of those wind gusts that we're watching out there right now. Going into those early morning hours, how about at 5 o'clock, a 41-mile-an-hour wind gust in Duluth, Athens 45, Eatonton, a 58-mile-an-hour wind gust there. Then at 6:30 in the morning, 39-mile-an-hour wind gust here, 40 in Marietta, 43 in Peachtree City. 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Thomaston, and then up in Gainesville, 51-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And then, look, we get up to 46-mile-an-hour wind gusts here in Atlanta at 7:30. So that is the time frame when those winds are going to be strongest out there. And then even later in the afternoon, the winds start coming down a little bit, but we're still talking 20 to 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts here for Friday afternoon. And then Saturday, it is going to be a little bit calmer out there with those winds settling down just a little bit more. So here's a look at those impacts that we continue to watch. We already have the rain. We've already had a lot of rain, but we're going to get more rain with those additional 3 to 6 inches. The winds gusting 40 to 70 miles per hour and some higher gusts at times. The highest will be between 3 and 9 in the morning. And then that tornado risk, a low chance that's going to be over to the east of us, mainly during these overnight hours that we're in right now.